How did Israeli society become like this? The answer lies in the stories Israel tells itself about itself. You see, the stories we tell ourselves play a large role in shaping how we view both ourselves and the world around us. And a nation's story is its bedrock, the foundation that guides the actions of its leaders and people. It explains the past, justifies the present, and charts the future. And this is best exemplified by none other than Israel. Here we arrive at the crux of the issue, where at the root of Israeli identity are two key narratives: victimhood and supremacy. Because of the legacy of European Jewry's persecution, which culminated in the Holocaust, the Jews believe their experience is unique and the ultimate standard of suffering, thus beyond any comparison.
Jews, because of their history, have common cause with the oppressed. Some Indians were deliberately given blankets, tainted with smallpox, died like flies.
You want to talk bioterrorism? Look who started it.
Amen to that, my friend.
That's right. Christopher Columbus was no better than Adolf Hitler.
Hey, whoa. Back up. Hitler?
Yeah. I'm not the only one who thinks so.
Talking out of your ass. Columbus and Hitler. You're trivializing the Holocaust. Frankly, Reuben, if you got that kind of covert anti-Semitism, I'd like you to leave my house.
Anti-Semitism?
That's right.
To even begin to compare anyone else's suffering to theirs can only be out of hatred of the Jewish people, for the Jews are not just victims, but the most important victims around.
We, the victims, not only the biggest victims, but the only victims around.
And on the other hand, a narrative of supremacy, of the best of mankind and God's chosen people, set apart by divine favor and destined for greatness above all others.
במקום מסוים, אלוהים, זה שיצר את כל העולם, את כל הגלקסיות, את כל האנשים, הופיע. הוא לא סתם הופיע, אלא גילה את המטרה שלשמה נברא העולם, בעצם. ועל פי התורה, אלוהים רצה ובחר בעם אחד, עם סגולה, רק בו, מכל העמים.
The dichotomy of these two narratives, one of elite victimhood, the other of unparalleled supremacy, produces a deeply toxic self-image that is characterized by three defining features: superiority, victimhood, and shame. Superiority. Their perceived status as superior humans, rooted in religious tradition that has evolved into an ethno-nationalist ethos, ultimately produces the belief that Jewish Israelis are the most important people in the human experience, and that their quest for prophesied greatness takes precedence over the experience and rights of all others.
The heart of chosenness is first and foremost that to be a Jew is to be part of the most extraordinary and miraculous story on the face of the earth. That despite our small size, we are not only eternal, but have had a more important impact in the history of the world than any other nation. We have been chosen as an eternal nation to play a greater role in the history of the world than any other.
Basically, the Israeli narrative is that they are better and more important than everyone on earth.
Tikkun Olam, as they call it. You want to know what Tikkun Olam is? Klal Yisrael is supreme. They generate Kedusha. They're elevated. The nations of the world recognize that. They're subject to us. They assist us, and they're elevated. But when the Jewish people are not fulfilling the Torah, and we are not who we're supposed to be, then the Gentiles have no one to hang their hat on. They have nothing to exist for, and their existence is rendered. Their existence is not meaningful. Their existence is for the betterment of the Jewish people.
Victimhood. The degree of their victimhood grants them an unrivaled moral standing. And because their past suffering makes them morally untouchable, everything they do, say, and feel is right and moral. And to question this is tantamount to hate, as it denies their prior oppression the moral infallibility that surely accompanies such historical trauma. Shame. The trauma of collective persecution in Christian Europe, their own religious figures victim-blaming Jews themselves for their exile and weakness, and top it all off with the Holocaust, together produce feelings of low self-worth and great shame, with a particular aversion to anything that reminds them of their previous weakness. Think about it. If you were in school and your entire class spent the whole year calling you worthless, you probably wouldn't feel very good about yourself. And then when you went home afterwards, your own parents told you that it was God's punishment for being unworthy, you'd start to feel really ashamed of yourself. So to cope with this internalized trauma and shame, Israelis have thus constructed a national identity that enshrines strength.
מדינה לוקחים עם חרב. ככה אבא שלי אמר לי. המדינה מתשווה.
It It allows for no weakness. It is an identity around being tough and strong to avoid feeling the weakness and shame of their past. And by casting themselves as morally flawless by merit of their Jewishness and as survivors of extreme hate, they maintain this inflated self-image to explain away their aggressive behavior as not only necessary, but righteous.
Why should the world tolerate you having nuclear weapons and not, say, Iran?
We suffered one Holocaust. We listened to our neighbors.
Is it because of the Holocaust that you should be allowed to have nuclear weapons?
You know what? This interview was finished now. Your attitude is so hostile.
In this twisted worldview, the victim becomes the victimizer, as if the perpetual victim card has given it license to do as it wishes against anyone, with impunity, without any censure. Because when you are not just the biggest victim, but the most important victim, you are above criticism, above accountability. Israel's ego is fragile and heavily dependent on how others perceive it. And challenging this self-image threatens to expose its deep-seated insecurities. This is why Israel labels even the gentlest of criticisms leveled at it as anti-Semitic. And this is why Israel weaponizes toxic behaviors and psychological defense mechanisms to deny accountability and avoid criticism, as if its very existence depends on it. This is why Israel often describes the world in extremes: black or white, good or evil, children of darkness, or children of light. By simplifying its emotional landscape to this worldview, it avoids confronting the uncomfortable realities of its actions. Because of this extreme reductionist worldview, admitting a mistake would mean admitting the capacity to make mistakes. And this would shatter their carefully constructed identity of moral infallibility. So they cling to the belief that they are pure, innocent, and perfect. And their every action is correct, moral, and righteous. This is how and why Israel will claim, either through self-delusion or bold-faced lies, or a combination of the two, and in the face of overwhelming evidence and international condemnation, that its occupation of Palestine isn't real. The apartheid isn't real. The genocide isn't real. The famine isn't real. The Palestinian experience isn't real because Palestinians themselves aren't even real. After all, you can't be God's chosen if you're a genocidal, racist apartheid state actively colonizing, starving, raping, and murdering hundreds of thousands of people.